Hey yo, what's up everybody? This is David and I have finally received my PlayStation VR2 PC adapter. I'm actually really surprised at how fast this came. I literally ordered this at around 7 a.m. yesterday in the morning and it came the next day. And I am excited to try it out. This is going to be more of my first impressions type of video. I will go more in depth in a later video when I use the PSVR2 for a slew of games and for a long period of time. But today will be more of a first impressions, and hopefully my built-in motherboard's Bluetooth adapter works. I have the Wi-Fi antennas that also work for Bluetooth connected. I updated all of the drivers as well. So hopefully everything is working just as it should, and I won't have to buy a Bluetooth adapter with an extension cable. I hope that's not the case, but if I do, it's not a big deal. All right, let's crack this thing open. This is a pretty light box, I can already tell. And from what I've been seeing, the PC adapter is actually kind of small. You can also, if you have a GPU with a virtual link connection, you can actually use this PSVR2 with that without having to buy this adapter. I have a 4090, which unfortunately does not have that virtual link adapter, so I do have to buy this adapter. But if you have a 20 series card or a 6000 series card from Radeon AMD, you can use the adapter, or you can use the PSVR2 directly with your GPU. Little manual here. Here's the actual adapter. Pretty tiny. We've got the little USB connection there in the front for the PSVR2. And in the back, I also got one of these display ports right here. You're gonna need at least a 1.4 rated cable. However, here I got a 2.1 DP80 rated cable, so this is way too overkill for what you are going to be using it for. But I kind of wanted to future proof myself because it was around the same price as a 1.4 cable, only like $5 or $6 more, so might as well get the best type of cable you can get. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in Blade and Sorcery using the PSVR2. As you saw there was a little bit of a spike in the controllers not registering, but I only noticed this when I first log into something like Blade and Sorcery or Steam VR. For a split second the controllers won't work, but then everything works just fine when I'm in the actual gameplay so far. So I have played a little bit of Blade and Sorcery, and I am happy to report that everything seems to be working just fine, except some of the tracking issues. So I am recording this video at the same time. It's gonna hit the performance a little bit, unfortunately, but let's go ahead and talk about some things that are important that pertain to the performance of the PSVR2, such as Mura, the motion blur, and also what about the blur of the lenses or the screens? Does super sampling actually help with that? And yes, it does, quite considerably. However, there are limitations. Yes, I do have the super sample at around 130% right now, and it does look incredibly sharp. I'm not going to lie. However, it still does not look as sharp as the Quest 3, unfortunately. Now, what about the motion blur? I've got it at 120 frames per second right now, and unfortunately there is a little bit of motion blur. Okay, there is still motion blur, not as bad as those games that are reprojected from 60 frames per second. However, in actual gameplay, it's not that big of a deal. If you go looking for it, it is kind of a big deal, but it's really not that big of a deal. Okay, some Blade and Sorcery jank right there. I notice it most when I go outside in this little area right here. When I move my head, I can definitely tell that there is a little bit of motion blur, which is just so funny because usually when you use a monitor or a TV with OLED displays, you don't get any motion blur, right? Because the OLED technology, but for some reason the OLED panels in this VR headset do have some motion blur, and that kind of sucks, but it's not that bad. It really isn't. All right, but yes, the Quest 3 does have better motion blur clarity. However, this looks extremely vibrant. I can see the sun there actually looks like a real sun instead of looking like some blank image on the Quest 3. The colors just are alive and pop. So there are trade-offs, but my gosh, the colors are just absolutely incredible, guys. So there are some trade-offs, all right? And of course, we get a completely uncompressed image, guys. Uncompressed means we don't have any compression. This is lossless, all right, directly streaming to my headset, and I don't see any compression artifacts whatsoever. Now the Quest 3, when running it at 90 Hz and 900 megabytes per second, does actually come pretty close to this. Like running it at that amount, I barely see any compression artifacts, but when I do step outside, I do see a little bit in that area. But like I said, this is completely lossless. You're talking about 900 megabytes per second through a USB cable versus 32 gigabytes per second, right, through a display port. So quite a big difference. Now, what about the Mura? Is Mura still here? And unfortunately, it is. But it is a lot less. The Mura is almost unnoticeable in some scenes. Like when I go inside of here, I almost cannot notice any Mura whatsoever. It is so incredibly clear, guys. There is a little bit of Mura, that is true. When I look at the sword, I see a little bit of Mura, a little bit of a film grain look, but it is, I don't know why, probably because of the super sampling, but it is significantly better than when I'm playing on my PS5. So let's go ahead and get into this arena here real quick and kind of check out what the controller tracking is like. Also, by the way, for the IPD adjustment, if you're wondering, it does actually show you a display for the IPD adjustment, which is so incredibly nice. All right, let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. And I'm gonna grab this sickle here. Now, what about the latency? Is the latency better than the Quest 3? It is a little bit, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't notice that big of a difference. I think it's because these controllers have to be going through Bluetooth, and just the way that it's not headset tracked. I mean, it is headset tracked, but it has to go through your computer's Bluetooth. I don't know. It doesn't feel as direct, you know what I mean? Like, I still feel like, yeah, it is better. You know what? No, I take that back. It is definitely better. But I don't know. It's not like significantly so where I'm like, oh yeah, the latency is just so much greater. Like honestly, the latency wasn't that bad when you were playing PCVR wired with the Quest 3. Like it was pretty good still. But man, the colors, guys, the colors are just incredible. These colors are just so vibrant, and everything looks different. Almost like the game has a completely different filter on than the Quest 3. You know what I mean? But as you can see, the tracking is pretty nice. All right, here we have some Vertigo 2. As you can see, I'm playing the official version of Vertigo 2, but this is where the demo starts as well. There's a free demo available if you are interested. But the reason I chose this game is because I was interested to see what this version of Vertigo 2 compares to the PSVR2 version, because the PSVR2 version is just absolutely awful. It is very low resolution. I mean, I'm talking about like Quest low resolution, and the game has just a myriad of really bad frame drops. It's reprojected. It's just all of the bad. It doesn't have any of the technologies that the PSVR2 provides. No adaptive triggers, no eye track foveated rendering, nothing like that. So here we are playing with the PSVR2 in the PC with 120 FPS and super sampling. So now we can see what the game would really look like if it was run on a high-end system on the PSVR2, using the PSVR2. And I'm going to tell you, the colors, first of all, look very similar to the PS5 version. In fact, I actually wanted to talk about that because the so-called HDR, I'm not seeing it with the PS5 because this looks exactly the same like the PS5 version. The brightness level, the colors, everything. It looks exactly the same as the PS5 version. So I'm not really sure what they're talking about when they're talking about HDR. I don't know if they're like faking the HDR or something like that, but it looks literally exactly the same. Maybe this game just doesn't support HDR on the PS5, but so far, I don't know. The brightness level of everything is exactly the same, and the colors are exactly the same as the PS5 version. What's up? What's up? All right, let's move through. So we do get a little bit of kind of here and there, a little bit of a traversal stutter, but that could just be because I am playing while recording at the same time. And I'm not really in my studio. I don't have optimal lighting or anything like that. I just kind of set this up real quick. So it might just be because I'm recording and all that. So when I do come off of this recording and I play my last game, I'm going to play these games without any recording, with ideal situations, and I'm going to report back as well at the end of the video to see if the recording has anything to do with performance issues that I'm experiencing. You guys probably not seeing that on the mirror that I'm recording, but when I'm in the headset, there are some traversal stutters here and there. So far though, other than that, the game is extremely smooth. And like I said before, I am barely noticing this Mura. Yeah, I seem to accidentally be adjusting the IPD all the time. It is just way too easy to turn. Take that. The biggest thing I've been noticing is just the colors are just so incredibly vibrant. Like that red right there is just the reddest red. It is, wow. Like this looks so good. Like I'm actually standing there looking at it. And the FOV is really, really nice too. Yeah, this game definitely looks significantly better on my PC than on the PS5. It is way sharper, way sharper. That's crazy. This is like an actually official, legit PCVR headset. Like, you can actually get this headset just for PCVR. Like, look at this. My hands are tracked perfectly. I'm not having any issues with that whatsoever. I just played through the opening sequence of this game. I didn't have any issues with that. Okay, yes. Let's see. Let's put a suppressor. Nah, I'll put an extend mag in there. Oh, look at that. Let's see if I can shoot that better. Dang, that's crazy how sharp this game looks with super sampling. I can see so much more. I also noticed the PSVR2 has way better vertical FOV than what I get with the Quest 3. The horizontal FOV is definitely better, but what I noticed the most is the vertical FOV. It's just like, I just feel like I can just see more of the top and bottom. Take that. And this is where I take the shotgun. Watch me, I'm gonna steal it from him. Yeah, he's like, what? What happened to my shotty? What? What happened? It's right here. Boom. Sorry, buddy. So here I have my controller straight in front of the right controller, and no tracking issues whatsoever. And I'm using my built-in Bluetooth. No issues at all. Beautiful, guys. Absolutely beautiful. Here we have Propagation VR. This is kind of a horror game. It's a good showcase. Let's have the resolution ultra. Everything's going to be on ultra. All right, perfect. Let's do a new game. I mean, I already played this game, but whatever. Just play normal, and let's start. So this game has true black levels, which looked kind of terrible in the Quest 3, to be honest. I'm still noticing, just like the PS5, a little bit of a geometry type of like warping going on. Like when I look around a little bit, kind of like in Resident Evil, there's just a little bit of warping. Oh my gosh. Oh man. No. Sometimes I like to shoot you. Here's my shotty. Oh. Dang, son. Alright, where'd he coming from? There's one right there. Yeah, definitely improved black levels. 100%. Oops. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble here. Pistol out. Oh no, get away from me. Jeez. Oh my gosh, this guy is blinding my face, brother. He's actually got a pistol himself. Just reload my shotty here. Yeah, I mean, the black levels definitely look way better. Way better. There's also another game I want to play, which is Star Wars Vader Immortal, I believe. And that game has a lot of black scenes, especially when Vader first visits you in the beginning. And it looks really bad in the Quest 3. It's like super, you know, you got that LCD backlight, and it just looks awful. Man, what? Oh no, that is nasty. Okay. They are taking massive amount of shots. Alright, so I've been playing for a couple hours using the PSVR2 without any recording. I also had to reset my play area because I found that when I was recording, before I started recording and standing up and all that, I actually set my play area when I was sitting down. So that caused some head tracking issues. I don't know if that came across to the recording or not, but when I was in the game, I felt that head tracking wasn't all there. But when I stopped recording, when I unplugged all the microphone and the webcam and all that, just as few accessories as possible, and I reset the play area, everything was fine. Head tracking was perfect. Also, the Bluetooth tracking of the controllers was improved as well, even more so than it already was. I wasn't getting any kind of jitters or anything like that, especially in Blade and Sorcery. When I was recording, I was moving around left and right. I could kind of see my hands and whatnot kind of stuttering as I was moving, and everything felt a little jittery. Didn't feel like very smooth. But when I stopped recording, I was playing by myself. That all went completely away. The game was extremely smooth. I mean, it was almost like playing on a flat screen. That's how smooth it was. Just almost no stutters whatsoever, except in one map, Citadel. I was getting stutters after about 15 minutes when the enemies kept coming. But I also get this same type of stutter on the Quest 3 when I'm in the 120 hertz mode. I don't know what it is about Citadel, but I get a lot of stutters in that one particular map. But every other map worked pretty fine, and I wasn't having any other issues. Like Blade and Sorcery was extremely smooth when I was playing with the PSVR2 without recording or anything like that. Also, I played Vertigo 2. It also felt a lot more smooth. Felt like I was getting a very consistent 120 hertz, and the game actually particularly looked very sharp on the PSVR2 with my upsampling and all that. And I'm not really upsampling it that much. I'm upsampling only 130%. So I'm not even maxing it out like I could. But anyways, I'm having a good time with it. I'm obviously going to test it out more. I've still got Blade and Sorcery to go through. I didn't want to show Half-Life Alyx just because that game is, everybody's already shown that game and I haven't played it yet. So I excluded that game from this video. But yeah, so far though, pretty good experience. I've been mostly impressed by the tracking of the PSVR2 controllers. The controllers have been just fine. Like I said, I haven't lost tracking or anything like that, especially after recording. That's when it was like the most buttery smooth. I did not lose tracking whatsoever. I mean, it was like it was on my PS5 pretty much. So if you update just make sure to update all your Bluetooth drivers if you're using the Bluetooth in your motherboard, and make sure to update the firmware on the PS5 and the controller, the PSVR2, all that. Make sure to update all of that as much as you can, and you should be fine. All right. So thank you all for watching this first impressions video, and I will continue making videos about the PSVR2 PC adapter. All right. Peace. Have a good one.